We're going to talk about Chicago and Portland because I want you to understand both situations are serious, but neither city is in crisis at all. Neither Chicago or Portland is falling apart. They're being measured. They're labs. Every siren, every guard deployment, every judge's 14-day order, that's data. I want you to get it. They're stress testing democracy the same way an engineer would test a bridge, seeing how much pressure it takes before conscious cracks. That's all they're doing. And we've seen this experiment before. In France in 2015, the terror attacks, the state of emergency declared for just 12 days. Just 12 days. Do you remember how long that lasted? It lasted 2 years, and then they wrote it into ordinary law, permanent safety by permanent exception. And guess what the public did? They exhaled. They exhaled. That lab succeeded. And you think they want martial law right now? I want to talk about martial law because a lot of people are talking about it too recklessly. They don't. Martial law is loud, expensive, obvious. They want to never need it. They want to make conditions so effortless, so continual, you would never need to make martial law because emergency would have never ended. It would have never ended. And also another thing I want people to understand, just so you lock in, they do not understand our judicial capacity at all. Right? The administration. They don't. They don't know how fast the judge can move. They don't know how long the public can stay awake. They don't know how much contradiction the system can hold before it screams. They don't know. Why do you think they keep testing so often? Why do you think they keep sending people places so often? Because they don't know. To map the delay between the first knock and the first ruling, they don't know that. I want you to really picture this. Between the first order and the first outrage, they want to establish a perfect rhythm. Right? That's all they want. This whole year is about establishing a perfect rhythm where emergency never ends, but never needs to be declared again. Ever. Now the variables are American, right? I want you to see the situation. For Chicago, it's judicial latency, public tolerance, and moral fatigue. For Portland, it's command overlap, protest endurance, and narrative drift. Each city simulates a different type of obedience. A different type, right? I want you to picture it. One test whether legality still slows violence. The other test whether people can tell the difference between order and exhaustion. That's what it's about. And this mistake, it is not new. After 9/11, we thought that moral clarity would save us. We really did. After 2008, we thought outrage would. After COVID, we thought the expertise would. But every era treats collapse as an event instead of a curriculum. I want you to picture this shit. We learn pain but forget process. And then we sign petitions like children leaving notes for a fire we started. Right? That's what we do. But civilian helplessness is not a weakness. It's sensory overload. You have 1,000 alarms teaching you that you're small. That's what you're doing. A whole bureaucracy teaching you it's neutral. An expert class teaching you that care is naive. I want you to understand that I know why you scroll, and I know why I scroll, right? It's because we can't see where to grab the wheel, and that's the loop they measure. That's what they measure. So let's talk about what could have fixed this. Let's talk about what could have broken this. Not a march, not a meme, but a genuine ledger, a genuine case of memory, a slow public that times how long the window stays open, a citizen body that actually writes down when the order began. Right? When it began, when it was renewed, whether it ever truly ended, like actually write it down. You have to understand how much, and I think about this as a black person, right? Just speaking from my perspective, how much of Black land is not documented. Nothing. And you're telling me the one time you could have wrote down the day, the name, all the information regarding everything that was stolen from you. It was emotional. It was just emotional. Do you see what I mean? Because France never lost freedom in one day. Right? No one ever does. It lost it in quarterly renewals. And the United States will do the exact same thing if no one tracks the clock. So when you watch the next deployment, don't just film the troops. Don't do that. Note the timestamp. Note the court docket, the budget line. Every document you collect is a mirror of the machine that they don't want to look into. They don't want to look into at all. Every local ordinance with the sunset clause is a small resurrection. That's what it is. Because the playbook actually never changes. Every generation receives the same information. They do. Every time. And they make the same mistake, which is thinking that somebody else is going to call it history. Their fight. They think that their fight's going to get called history. And it's not going to happen. Our counter playbook cannot just be shock. It cannot just be shock at all. It has to be documentation because it always is going to go like this. They're going to test the limit, normalize the exception, and then rename it safety. That is what they're going to do. I'm just being extra for real with you. So the only way to resist the lab is to record the experiment so precisely that when the next one happens, they can't claim it was the first one. They can't claim it was the first one. So I just want to talk about it because a lot of people don't have an understanding of the situation, an understanding of what they should be doing. You should be writing down the theft right now. Right now. And you also should be looking into other mistakes of other leftist movements. Look into them. Look into them. Why didn't 2008 work out? Right? You should be having a discussion about that in the comments right now. For real. What could we have done to stop Hitler? Right? Stuff like that. What could have been done before Rwanda? Right? Those type of things need to be on your mind because those are the type of environments that we need to prepare against. Right? That's the whole point of this. I know this is a little long, but I just wanted to sit with y'all on the topic.